All right, welcome to this live watch along. We're joined this game in progress. Norway versus England from the Miami Stadium in Miami, Florida, home of the NFL's Miami Dolphins and home of college football's Miami Hurricanes. Norway won, England won. Quarterfinal round of the FIFA World Cup 2026. Pierre Moss here with you on Welcome to Sports Radio. Hope you guys have enjoyed this one thus far. Both teams with 6 shots overall. The possession edge is going to England, 57% to 35% for Norway. Norway scored first. That was Andre Schellderup in the 36th minute of the first half. And then 9 minutes later, Jude Bellingham found equalizer for England. Now this game is tied at 1 goal apiece, 72nd minute. Winner of this match will face the winner of the last quarterfinal matchup of the night, Argentina versus Switzerland. That game will take place, the semifinal game will take place on Wednesday in Atlanta, Wednesday afternoon. Both teams have made quite a few substitutions. In fact, both teams have made double substitutions. For England, at the start of the second half, Eze and Saka came on. Madueke and Rice were the ones heading to the bench. '73rd minute. Norway won, England won. And now, a near turnover for Norway in their own end, but Odegaard, the Norway captain, picking up the ball and getting it back to his goalkeeper. And now he'll play it forward, trying to find Oscar Bob, but it's just above him. England back in possession, coming the other way. Here's Reece James, who has just come onto the field to replace Alan Gordon. Saka on the right side. Now for James. James crosses into the penalty area, looking for Eze, cleared by Norway. And now Norway still on the ball here. They're in the attacking half, making very good progress down their right. Here's Bob. Bob in the penalty area. Bob trying to make a move. Can't. Ball loose. And picked up by the goalkeeper, Jordan Pickford. Of course, we all know the last time England won this competition, the World Cup, they hosted it back in 1966. It's been 60 years since England has won a World Cup. Here's Noosa. Oh, it's a good ball in for Holland. They couldn't quite get to him. Bob, now to Holland. Holland. His cross comes in for Berg. Berg can't get there. Back outside the penalty area. There's Noosa. Noosa with it again. Noosa trying to make moves in the penalty area. And the ball is going to go out of play off of Kanza. And that will be a corner for Norway. Sean Terry and Ashley Cole in the stands, two of England's finest. Fourth corner of the match for Norway. 15 minutes left. Berg to take the corner for Norway. And now the referee has to warn the players against pushing and shoving. By the way, Clement Turpin, the Frenchman, today's referee. And a very good referee at that. Berg's corner is nice and high. Pickford beats it out of the air. Arsenal with a shot. Oh, another shot. That is off the post. And then eventually it's going to be shot into the side netting by Norway. And now Kanza comes up limping for England. This corner caused all kinds of problems for the England defense, but Norway unable to score. What a shot off the post. Here's Bellingham, the England goal scorer in possession. Now Kane. And Kane had to stretch himself for a quick second there. Here's Eze playing down the left hand side. Now John Stones. Here's Saka. Saka cutting inside. Now James. James will put the cross in. Cleared by Norway. England have it back again. Here's Eze. Eze with Freddie Arsenis all over him. Now Reece James playing in that defensive midfield role. Stones out wide for Saka on the right. Saka's got two players on him. That's a good idea. Cross was blocked. Ball comes back out to the halfway line for Konza. Now Saka on the ball again. 78th minute. Game tied at one apiece. Eze. It's nice and high across, but cleared by Norway. England have it back again. This is Anderson. Now Eze. Eze. Cutting in field. Stones. Saka. Stones again. This is Reece James. James out wide to Saka. Stones cutting in field. Saka's cross with the left foot. Oh, it was a very good one, but could not reach one of his England teammates. Beautiful cross put in with the left foot from Saka, but Harry Kane couldn't get there. And that was actually Elliot Anderson, pardon me. Elliot Anderson not being able to get there, but just a replay of that shot by, I think it was Christoph Ayer from Norway. Yes, it was from before, for a few moments before, that hit the crossbar, the middle of the crossbar. Now Holland for Norway. As he proved in the round of 16 match against Brazil, he doesn't need very many touches in order to have an impact on the match. Norway in the attacking half with 10 minutes to play. Norway ranked 31st in the FIFA World Rankings. England ranked 4th. This will be a monumental achievement if Norway could pull this off and beat England in the World Cup and send England home. Berg. Now Bob. Bob out wide on the right. Bob still with it. Bob again. Now Freddie Arsenis. Nusa out wide on the left for Norway. Nusa cutting in field. Nusa, the cross comes in. He had Bob open, but nice defensive play by Nico O'Reilly to send that one into touch. Norway throwing, 81st minute. come Norway in their attacking half, and no foul called. Here's Nusa still on the ball for Norway. Hausness out wide to the right for Bob. Bob trying to break his defender down. Bob weaving his way in the penalty area. Cross coming in, blocked away by England. And now Norway back on it again. Here's Patrick Berg. England wanted a handball, but none forthcoming. Norway still in possession. 82nd minute now. Sanderberg. Here's Nusa. Nusa cross coming in, blocked by Bukayo Saka. Corner coming up for Norway. They have 2 subs remaining, as does England. Patrick Berg to take the all-important corner for Norway as we approach minute 83. Berg. Here comes Berg's corner. Cleared by Kane. Right back to Berg. Odegaard. Odegaard from just outside the penalty area. Odegaard sends in the cross, trying to find Musa. Can't find him. Goes behind the goal for a goal kick. Keep in mind, if we're tied after regulation, there will be 2 15-minute extra time periods. No golden goal, of course. And then if we're still tied after those 2 15-minute extra periods, we head to everyone's favorite, the penalty shootout. '84th minute. Jed Spence getting ready to come on for USA for sure. I'm sorry, for England. Jed Spence is ready to come on for England, pardon me. Norway on the attack. 5 minutes left to play in regulation. No doubt there will be a bunch of stoppage time at the end of regulation. Here's Bob. Bob in the penalty area for Norway. Bob to Odegaard. Odegaard to Sanderberg. Berg. Out wide for Nusa. Nusa cutting in, shooting. Saved by Pickford. Good low shot by Nusa there, but Pickford was always going to save that one. Here come England in possession. Konsa down the right side. Now Stones. 86th minute, England in possession. David Beckham watching on, of course. And now it's going to be Nico O'Reilly going off for England trying to control possession late in this match. If they get a goal here, that could mean good night for Norway. All of the pressure is on England. They have to win this game. Crossfield ball for Eze. Eze brings it down. Eze to Anderson. Now Spence. James. James to Stones. Stones out wide side for Saka. England being very patient here in possession. Saka. Saka. Oh, he gets by one. The cross comes in. And they can't score. And it was Freddie Arsnes who cleared it away for Norway. Oh, wow. What a move by Bukayo Saka. He got free in a penalty area, put in a perfect little cross, but none of his teammates were there to meet it. Here's Kanza. Kanza on the right side. Kanza's cross comes in. That's blocked. Corner for England. 88th minute. '88th minute. Corner for England. Can they make it happen here? Third corner of the match for the Three Lions. Plenty of white shirts awaiting in the penalty area for Eze's corner. Eze's corner. It's high in the penalty area. Kane got there, but he fouled Freddie Arsnes in the process. So a free kick will go to Norway. Luis Suarez also in the building. Of course, he plays into Miami these days with certain Lionel Messi. All right, so Konza coming off for England. He started this game at right back. Morgan Rogers coming in. He's a midfielder. So you would have to assume that Reece James will go play right back, his natural position that he plays for Chelsea. And now sub for Norway. Holmgren coming on. And Muller Wolf coming off. And now both teams are out of substitutions. 90th minute. Free kick for Norway from their own end. Now they send it forward, trying to find Holland. They can't do so, but Holland gets to it eventually anyway. Here's Bob. And now Norway are in position to try to look for the go-ahead goal that will send them to the semifinal round. Here comes Norway. The cross comes in, blocked away by Pickford. Spence. Now Bellingham. Bellingham trying to get to Spence in space. Put the ball out there for him, but Christoph Ayer was there to um, to interrupt that passage of play for England. And now to Jed Spence giving Nyland the corner. Sorry, giving Nyland the Norway goalkeeper some trouble there. He nearly turned it over, the Norway goalkeeper. That would have been disastrous. Eze for England. Eze fouled. We're in stoppage time now. 7 minutes of added on time. We are in the 92nd minute. Norway 1, England 1. Norway with 10 attempts at goal, 5 of them on target. England, 6 attempts in goal and just one shot on target all day, and that was the Bellingham goal. 87 degrees right now down in Miami. It feels like 98 degrees. Cross comes in from Anderson. Kane knocking it down briefly, but then lost it to a Norway play. England in the all-white kits. Norway, red shirts and blue bottoms. Oh boy, Norway needs to be careful here. They don't turn it over in their own end. And that's exactly what has happened. They have conceded a throw in. Morgan Rogers was all over Hegem. And now Hegem, he may need a few minutes. Remember, both teams are out of subs. Martin Odegaard coming over to stretch out one of his teammates. If Hegem can't continue, then that means Norway are down to 10 men. The referee keeping a close eye on proceedings. 94th minute. And as a result of this stoppage, we're probably going to have more time added on at the end of the second half. Okay, so Hegem is on his feet, but still off the field for Norway. So temporarily, Norway are down to 10 men. Here's James. Now Saka. Now Anderson. '95th minute. Game still tied at one apiece. Stones for James. Back to Stones. This cross comes in. Header. Just a bit wide from Jude Bellingham. He was making his bid for his second goal of the game. Goal kick upcoming for Norway. And Eze fouls Arsenis. Free kick Norway, 97th minute. Keep in mind, if we're tied after regulation, there will be two 15-minute extra periods. No golden goal. And if we're still tied after those two 15-minute extra periods, we will head to penalties. Now the question is, how much more added on time will we have once the 97 minutes are up? Oh, Bellingham got collided into. He's in pain. A Norway player is down also. But it looks as though Bellingham got the worst of it. Bellingham holding his right shin. '98th minute now. '99th minute now. So we're a couple of minutes beyond the added 7. No surprise there. And that will be it for regulation. Norway and England tied at 1 goal apiece. Gonna take a short break here on Wellington Sports Radio. We'll be back for the start of extra time in just a few moments. Norway and England tied at 1 goal apiece. All right, we are back for the start of extra time. Both teams gained an extra substitution in Norway. They're going to use theirs right away, right at the start of extra time. Hegem will come off, and on comes Leo Ostergaard. Will we get the game-winning goal in extra time? That remains to be seen. Sold out crowd at Miami Stadium. We're here with you from our studios in Newark, New Jersey. I want to thank you guys so much for joining us here on Wellington Sports Radio. It looks like England will be kicking off to start the first half of extra time. Away we go. Or not yet. Now we're underway. England will move from right to left, and Norway will be going in the opposite direction. Shelterup and Bellingham, the goal scorers for these two teams. Winner of this match will face the winner of the Argentina-Switzerland quarterfinal. That will take place later on tonight. The semifinal round game between these squads will take place on Wednesday in Atlanta. France and Spain are in the other semifinal. That comes on Tuesday. And then, of course, next Sunday, the final of the FIFA World Cup from MetLife Stadium. Here is Anderson for England. Now Saka taking on Holmgren. Saka can't quite get around Holmgren. And Norway give away a corner. Kyle Saka will take the corner. Saka came on as a second half sub. Saka's corner, it's an in-swinger, cleared by Norway. They want a foul. They're not going to get one. Right back to Saka. Saka, he'll try again with the cross. Kane's header! Oh, what a save by Nealand. But it comes right back to Saka. Now James. Back to Saka. Saka's going to go at Holland. Saka's cross over the head of Gahey. Gahey recovers. Now Eze. Eze to Rogers. Rogers, long shot. Save. Rebound to Bellingham. He scored again. Norway 1, England 2, 93rd minute. And it's Jude Bellingham who has scored again. His second goal of the match. Norway 1, England 2. Jude Bellingham is becoming a legend right before our very eyes. You cannot take your eye off of him for a nanosecond. Because when you do, he'll make you pay First of all, great shot by Morgan Rogers. Nyland made the save, but he spilled the rebound, and the rebound was juicy. And Jude Bellingham, who else? There for the rebound, and he scores. So Morgan Rogers with the shot, saved by Nealon, but it was then Jude Bellingham who wound up scoring the goal. And could that be the goal that sends England into the semifinal round? Jude Bellingham, it's his sixth goal in this year's World Cup and second goal of the match. So he's on a hat trick now. The stars have really come to play in this year's World Cup, and well, Jude Bellingham has been one of those stars. Can Norway find an answer? Here's Nusa down the left side for Norway. His attempted pass is blocked, and now Burge has to chase it down for Norway. Sander Burge. Here is Freddie Arsoness. Now Oscar Bob. Bob trying to keep the move going, but can't do so. Morgan Rogers back defending for England. Eze to Spence. England coming forward, and they could not get the pass to Bellingham. Ostagar with the interception. But now Kane's got it back. Harry Kane is definitely one of those strikers who does not mind tracking back and helping his teammates defensively. And that's whether or not he's with England or at Bayern Munich. Also did a lot of that at his previous club, Tottenham. Argentina versus Switzerland. That game starts at 9 p.m. Eastern. Østegård for Norway. Erling Haaland been a little too quiet in this match. But as you mentioned before, it doesn't take much for him to get involved. Østegård. Odegaard, the Norway captain. Burge having trouble with it. Needs to get rid of it and does. Plays it all the way back to his goalkeeper. 98th minute. Erling Haaland just one goal behind Mbappe and Messi. Bellingham and Kane now both have 6 goals. 2 behind the leaders for this World Cup. As I mentioned, the stars have really come to play in this year's World Cup, and so refreshing to see. Eze. And now England trying to come forward again. They're coming down the left side for Rogers. Ayer puts the ball in the touch, throwing for England. 99th minute. Norway's teammates trying to encourage them from the bench. We will have an additional extra time period. Remember, no golden goal. We'll have 15 minutes left to play after this one. Here comes Spence down the left side for England. The Jed Spence. Spence still with it. Spence still in the penalty area. Still Spence. Still on his feet. Now taken down. Penalty to England. Penalty to England. The Norway players are claiming that Spence took a dive. Despite the claims from Norway, the referee has pointed to the spot. And honestly, this could be either Kane or Bellingham taking this penalty. Great play by the Jets. Spence showing his strength. And Bob takes him down. Let's see. I don't know. Yes, there is contact. I'm not sure if there was enough for Spence to go down there in the penalty area. VAR is on the case per usual. This is a huge, huge decision. If England were to be awarded this penalty and they wind up scoring the penalty, they could go up 3-1 with just one period of extra time left to play, and Clement Chopin will head to the monitor. Now, the Norway players are claiming that Spence dove. And again, there is contact from Bob on Spence. I'm not so sure if it's a penalty, to be honest. I'm not so sure. Here comes the decision. Okay, so you heard from the head referee, Clement Turpin. No foul. And to be honest, I believe that is the right decision. And that keeps this game at Norway 1, England 2. Really good spot because, if anything, as the referee mentioned, Spence put his right leg in front of the defender Bob, and he created the contact. Really good teamwork there by the head referee and the VAR team. All right, so we're in the 103rd minute. Just a few minutes left to go here in the first half of this of extra time. Norway on the ball now. Holmgren. Here's Patrick Berg. Now Berge. Berg again. Holmgren. He'll cross it in. Cleared by Anderson. Ostergaard with the recovery. Now Ayer. Ayer out wide on the right for Bob. Bob to Odegaard. What's he going to do with it? Odegaard being harassed by Rogers. Now Alsness. This is Ayer. Now Freddie Alsness again. Bob. Bob working the right side, trying to find an opening. Bob, he does find someone. It's Noosa. His shot blocked by Gay. Really good setup to Noosa. And Noosa let go a hard shot, but Gahey able to get in front of it. Patrick Berg to take the corner for Norway. Minute 104 of this match. Sixth corner of the match for Norway. Berg's corner and swinger cleared by John Stones. Just finished up his final season at Manchester City. And what has been a trophy-laden career for him, especially since going to Man City from Everton a few years back. Shot counts are now even. 10 shots apiece for both teams, 4 shots on goal for both teams apiece. Odegaard. Arsenis. Cross comes in and easily collected by Jordan Pickford. We're in the 105th minute. Nearing the end of first half, extra time. And Eze is fouled, but no fouls called. The ball rolled in the touch is going to be a Norway throw, and Thomas Tuchel not appreciating or agreeing with that call. Arsenis for Norway. He got fouled, but no fouls called. Three minutes of added on time here at the end of the first half of extra time. James for England. I'll tell you what, the Three Lions, they wouldn't mind another goal to end this first half of extra time. Minute 107. Minute 107 on the clock. Anderson, good cross field ball for Saka, who's been very effective on that right side for England this afternoon after coming on as a halftime sub. Anderson, his cross comes in, and Eze will collect for England. And now they're going to say offside. Offside against it. Norway trying to dribble from out of the back, and they turn it over. It's Kane. Now Bellingham. Out wide on the right for Saka. Saka in the penalty area. Saka trying to make something happen. Saka to Bellingham. His shot from way outside the penalty area. Not on target. (108th minute). Getting very close to the end of first half of extra time. There is Kane. And we have reached the end of the first half of extra time. Jude Bellingham's goal early in the first half of extra time has England in the lead 2-1. They are one half of extra time away from advancing to the semifinal round of this year's World Cup. Norway 1, England 2. That is the score at halftime of extra time. Meanwhile, in Kansas City, Argentina and Switzerland getting ready to do battle at 9 o'clock. Mbappe and Messi, 8 goals apiece. Holland has 7. Bellingham and Kane have 6 apiece. That's your Golden Boot race. Should be a very interesting second half between these two. At this point, they'll at least want to get the game tying goal to try to send the penalties, at least. Question is, does Erling Haaland have one more moment in him? If he does, they're going to need it in this second period of extra time. Or else the magical run of Norway would end today. And it is going to end because Erling Haaland, it's going to end at least today for him. Erling Haaland coming out of the game. And Jurgen Strand Larsen entering the game. So Erling Haaland making his exit. So in order for him to play any further part in this World Cup, it's going to be up to his teammates to get him there. Norway need a goal to force this game into penalty kicks. All right, here we go. Norway will kick off this second half of extra time, and they're going to go from right to left. England will go in the opposite direction. England 1/2 of extra time away from advancing to the semifinals. Norway need a goal to get this game in the penalties, and they need 2 goals to win it. Berg. Now Bob. Nusa in the penalty area. Nusa's cross. It was tricky, but cleared by England, and now Bellingham fouled from behind by Sander Berg. Free kick, England. Erling Haaland scored in 14 straight competitive appearances for Norway. He's got a goal in 20 of his last 23 appearances. Of course, Now that he's out of the game, that streak will end today. What an impressive World Cup Erling Haaland has put together for Norway. Still plenty of time left, however, for Norway to get an equalizer. Although right now it's Reece James throwing. (108th minute). Once again, the scoring summary showed up for Norway. 36th minute, that gave him the lead. Then Bellingham tied it in the 47th minute of first half stoppage time. And then Bellingham has given England the lead in the 93rd minute with his second goal of the match. That made it 2-1 in favor of England. All right, so Patrick Berg taking a very long shot. Not on target, however. He sent it into a sea of red shirts. Kane, they'll send it forward. Intercepted by Norway. Here come England. They're making progress down the right side with Saka. Saka cutting it back. He's in a penalty area. He shoots. Saved by Nealon. And now England forces turnover. Here is Eze. His shot saved by Nealon. Oh, Eze. Nealon spilled a rebound. Saka with a shot. Another save by Nealon. England are trying to put this game away now. Rogers to Stones. Anderson. Here's James. All right, so England now have 14 shots compared to 11 for Norway. Nice little flurry here by England in the early part of this second half of extra time. And now Jude Bellingham is coming out of the game. So a standing ovation here in the 111th minute. England bringing on an extra defender in Newcastle United's Dan Burn. So now England have no subs remaining, as does Norway. <clears throat> 112th minute. Norway in possession, down a goal. And no Erling Haaland on the field for them. They're going to have to do it themselves without the services of the big man. Good ball in for Strand Larson. But there to intercept this Bayern is England. (112th minute). England are oh so close to the semifinal round of this year's World Cup. After tonight, we'll be down to 4 teams left in this year's FIFA World Cup, if you can believe it. Out wide, the ball goes for Oscar Bob. Odegaard, who will step up in Holland's absence? That is the question. Right side, now in the middle for Odegaard. Odegaard's cross coming in and headed away by the City defense. All right, so 114th minute. Corner coming up for Norway. And it's their captain, Martin Odegaard, to take the corner. At least 7 players in the penalty area waiting for Norway. Odegaard's corner. It falls to Bob. Bob shoots. And it goes above the crossbar. It'll be a free kick for England. All right, so England wanted to foul at the other end. England looking for their 4th World Cup semifinal berth. 1966, 1990, and 2018 were the other times that England reached at least the semifinal round. Norway has never been to a World Cup semifinal. Cross coming in. It's over the head of Strand Larson. And off of an England defender. Norway corner. 116th minute. No, goal kick for England. Pardon me. Not a Norway corner. They wanted one, but won't get one. Back come Norway again. Free kick given to Norway after Patrick Berg was fouled. Yep, Berg got taken down by Anderson. And Nusa, he is fouled by Reece James. (117th minute), free kick upcoming for Norway. Odegaard to take the free kick. Odegaard, in swinging free kick, punched away by Pickford, and Pickford is down for England. And Christoph Ayer, arguing a little too much, picks up a yellow card for Norway. The main question for England: how's the health of Jordan Pickford? Pickford back on his feet for England. 118th minute. Here's Nusa for Norway, working the left side, cuts in field. And now Reece James, a good defensive play to force the ball in the touch. 119th minute. Norway running out of time. Strand Larson trying to get it back to Nusa. Nusa runs it down. Nusa with Reece James over him. And let's see, offside against Norway. Flag went up on the far side of the field. Oh, I don't know about that one. I don't think Nusa was offside there, to be honest. It looked like he was onside from here. 119th minute. Norway 1, England 2. And Harry Kane is now down for England. Clash of heads. And Norway proceed to turn it over in their own end. England in possession now. Back come Norway. 120th minute. It's going to be last chance saloon time for Norway in a moment. All right, so we've reached the end of 120 minutes. 2 added on minutes. That's how close England are to moving on to the semifinals and sending Norway home in the process. Morgan Rogers right to the corner flag. And Norway. And now we have a stoppage in play. I'm not sure why. Maybe that the kick was taken a little too early or from the wrong spot. But it's going to be an England throwing. They changed their mind, apparently. All right, so 1 minute left. Ball just popped in the air from Norway. They need the ball. They need to get it forward. But right now, they don't have the ball, and Pickford sends it forward for England. Berg now on the ball, finally for Norway. 40 seconds left. Long ball down the middle. Norway. Last minute of extra time. Norway send it long. We've reached the end of the 122 minutes. And that's it. The referee has blown his final whistle. England are moving on to the semifinal round of this year's FIFA World Cup. They will face the winner of the next quarterfinal matchup, Argentina versus Switzerland. They will face one of those two teams this coming Wednesday in Atlanta. Our man of the match, it can only be one, Jude Bellingham, scorer of both England goals today. And the wonderful, wonderful magic ride of Norway is over at this year's World Cup. Erling Haaland, what a wonderful tournament he had. No, no shame on his part. And Nyland, the goalkeeper for Norway, inconsolable at the moment. The rebound he could not corral ended up in the back of his net on the second Bellingham goal. A lot of players on both squads play in the Premier League. Some of them are even teammates, such as Martin Odegaard and Kyle Saka and Eberechi Eze and Declan Rice. Couldn't think of his name for a moment. Gotta feel bad for the Norwegian goalkeeper. You certainly have to feel bad for him. And then, of course, some of former teammates, Jude Bellingham and Erling Haaland, of course, they both played for Borussia Dortmund earlier in their careers. In fact, they played together at Borussia Dortmund earlier in their careers. All right, so once again, the final score after extra time, Norway 1, England 2. We hope you enjoyed this presentation of the 2026 FIFA World Cup quarterfinal here on Wellington Sports Radio. We will have plenty more action coming up for you across other sports. We're going to have some Major League Baseball coming up in the second half of the season. And then when late August and early September hits, we'll have high school football here for you from the great state of New Jersey. So be on the lookout for that. We will have plenty of domestic league action from France's Liga, Spain's La Liga, and other leagues from around the world. And we're going to have as many for you as we possibly can. Once again, the final score, Norway 1, England 2. England, for the fourth time in their history, moving on to a World Cup semifinal. England are just 2 wins away from breaking a 60-year drought in winning the World Cup. And all England fans have to be thinking, if the New York Knicks can break a 53-year drought in the NBA and winning the championship this season, why not us? Why not England? a very rousing edition of Wonderwall from the England faithful as well as the players. Always good to see that from the fans and the players. So France and Spain, the first semifinal coming up this Tuesday. England will find out their opponent later on tonight. Argentina taking on Switzerland. That game will start in a little over an hour from now. So be on the lookout for that one. All right, Pierre Moss signing off now for Wellington Sports Radio. As you can imagine, they're going crazy in London, England at the moment. Good thing there's no work tomorrow over there. I don't think they will quite make it. And they're going crazy in Kansas City, where the fourth and final quarterfinal match will take place between Argentina and Switzerland. Plenty of Argentinian fans in attendance from the Kansas City Stadium. Of course, Argentina, the defending World Cup champions, looking to win back-to-back World Cups. A rare feat indeed. All right, so that's going to do it for our coverage. We got, like I said, I hope you guys enjoy listening. Like, comment, and subscribe. Tell a friend, tell a friend, tell a friend. And we'll see you next time here on Wellington Sports Radio. Good night and goodbye for now. Please enjoy the rest of your Saturday evening and the rest of your weekend.